Well, this was another episode of Arrow that I really enjoyed. After the small hiatus, we come back picking up basically right where the last episode left off. Oliver is captured by Ra's al Ghul, but instead of killing him, Ra's says, I want you to take my place. I want you to be the leader of the League of Assassins. And as a token of good faith, he lets Oliver, Dig, and Malcolm, even Malcolm, return to Starling City. So basically, before that, Ra's says, how much good could you possibly do as a vigilante? I mean, how much good have you done? Your city will eventually turn against you. Your friends will eventually turn their backs on you. You can't keep this up forever because, honestly, what kind of an impact are you making? I'll tell you what kind of an impact. A very, very small one. So Oliver doesn't really pay much mind to this, but after he gets back to the Starling City, Detective Lance basically turns his back on him due to him not telling him that Sarah was dead. So there's that, and also he sees Felicity with Ray Palmer. And when he really stops to think about what he has accomplished over the past 2 years, or moreover what he has lost and failed to accomplish, he really considers this offer, which I actually found really fascinating. Because it would have been pretty easy to write Oliver as just saying, no, I don't want to do this. But he basically spends the entire episode in a state of indecisiveness. He basically spends the entire episode, weighing in his options, discussing it with Dig and his other teammates, mainly Dig. And the offer itself is pretty tempting. The offer, because Oliver says, they're called the League of Assassins for a reason. They kill people. And Ra's says, you will be their leader, so they will renounce killing if you tell them to. So the guy makes a tempting offer. But, in the end, Oliver really, really decides, saving individual lives is more rewarding from a lot of different perspectives, and he doesn't really want to take the more radical approach that the League of Assassins entails. So he refuses, and that basically sets up the remainder of the season in regards to a conflict between Oliver and Ra's al Ghul. While at the same time, Nyssa returns to the temple and learns about the offer, and she's just devastated. Finally, they gave some dramatic material to Nyssa aside from, I'm sad and angry that Sarah's dead and I need to kill Malcolm Merlyn. If they continued doing that, I think she would have become somewhat one note. But having her actually challenge her father and leave the League of Assassins, or at least for the time being, it's well acted and provides some interesting material for both Ra's and Nyssa. But it actually opens up a whole slew of new possibilities for this character. Because Nyssa is no longer limited to, whenever they bring in the League of Assassins. Nyssa can actually show up in an episode without necessarily having the League of Assassins in said episode. She's actually sort of a free agent now, again, at least for the time being. So, yeah, this was an episode that I really enjoyed. And in addition, even Thea I'm actually kind of starting to like, because she actually really stops to reflect on, everything, on all of the changes that have happened to her over the past year. From the time that her mother was killed, to the time that she threw in with Malcolm, to the time when she learned that she actually killed Sarah, and all this stuff that has happened to her, all the stuff that she's learned, both from a skill set perspective and also from a knowledge perspective about the people in her life. I mean, she's just about ready to break down. She just doesn't really have anything left. She doesn't really feel like she just really does not want to harbor the pain anymore. So I actually thought that was really well done. And yeah, I'm very interested to see where it's gonna go from here. If I had some problems with it, I would say, again, the Laurel scenes were very much a bore, because her dad was still not speaking to her for a good reason, honestly. I mean, I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. It was a very stupid and underhanded thing to do, and the fact that her dad is mad at her is actually a fairly logical course of action. And yeah, I hope he stays mad at her, frankly. In fact, I hope she gets killed off. In fact, and you think that's shallow and me being a pig? No. No. There's a small fight scene at the beginning of the episode, and basically it's Nyssa. Nyssa has a short fight with Laurel and Roy, and I said, "Oh, well, I like seeing Laurel getting punched in the face." And you might think, "Oh, well, that you should never wish harm." I personally have a moral in that you should never wish harm on an individual, particularly not a woman. But, Laurel is not a woman. She's a cretin, so it's fine. And also, she's a fictional character, so disclaimer. And in addition, the villain of the episode was kind of dull. The villain was Murmur, and he basically had one gimmick in that his mouth was sewn shut. Now already I'm thinking, okay, well, you still have the opportunity to make this a fairly intimidating villain, and toward the end of the episode, he actually kind of was. For a brief moment when he was attacking Detective Lance, I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy can actually be kind of menacing just based on his eyes and how he's having all these wild expressions. But for the most part, this guy seemed to function as the villain that they needed to have in order to have action in the episode. He didn't really contribute anything to the main plot. He was just an episodic villain with no personality whatsoever. He had a main objective, and the heroes had to stop him from completing said objective. So there wasn't really a whole lot to this guy, which is unfortunate. All the time was spent on, the character arcs and the overall seasonal storyline. And that came, unfortunately, at the detriment of the villain. So yeah, those are a few minor issues that I have, but overall I enjoyed this one. It seemed a lot more focused on the character of Oliver, which is where the good stuff lies. This season overall has had a real problem with, where it wants to focus its efforts in terms of development. And I think this show is at its best when it's developing Oliver, frankly. And all these other heroes that they've been trying to introduce over the season is just kind of become a mess. But this episode seemed to focus a little bit more on the primary conflict. So yeah, that's about all I got. And yeah, until I make my next video.